shut the door then. Was recording there. Yeah, man. Good morning. Good morning, man. I'm waiting on my bus. I gotta go to work today. It's much better. Yeah, they got niggas just waking up, dirty back, the dirtiest of the dirtiest. But you know, when you call the devil out, they never come to face you. They just come to show their way. They just show their face and act like they regularly walking. But good morning, though. You feel me? Right now, yeah, I got here a little too early, forgetting today was Sunday. My bus usually come 30 minutes later. My other bus don't run on Sundays, so I gotta do some wild shit just to get to work today. But God's willing, we gonna get there, you feel me? You know what I mean? God's willing. And I don't want to take no, excuse me. That's not corona, by the way. I'm just allergic to the hate. I'm sorry. Niggas allergic to hate, man. That's tough. I like that. One more thing too. Yeah, I said like this week. Yeah, it's gonna be hectic because you got holidays coming up. I know all of that stuff, so and I know most of these niggas be planning ahead, try to get you. So yeah, I have to put all that shit into the equation. Then I also have rent coming up, so I'm spending too much money just thinking about it. Just it's ridiculous. Word up. I got rent on the 1st. Then you got all this extra traveling. It's not like I'm gonna depend on Uber or Lyft to come pick me up, cause honestly, that shit sometimes is very unreliable. Feel me? Cause I could have woke up at 2 hours from now, got up and called them niggas and they scooped me up and I'll be going. I get there in 30 minutes. But these in Cali, that's not how shit rolls out here. I'm sure y'all niggas done. It's my man. See that mount behind me and everything, man. See, this is a city. This is not even a country. You know, New York City, this should be a country, but they call these places city. Anyway, but yeah, this is what it is right now, though. You feel me? Yeah, man, gonna get that, God's willing. I could have easily just taken a cab and everything else like that, but like I said, over here that's not the case. In New York, I'll be fighting. They'll be fighting me like, no, I got here first. On some wild shit like that. Like niggas be fighting for customers and shit. But over here they choose not to come, or you know what I mean, one person might come and show up. It's like it seems like they don't really need it. So you be lucky to get it. So I don't even rely on that. So I try to put my schedule at least 4 minutes ahead. I said 4 minutes. 4 hours ahead sometimes. Feel me? I'm telling you, man. I try to put my hours like that. Plus I try to put in hours in differences and everything else like that. So that's the shit I'm dealing with right now. I always got to plan ahead because, you know, they got the vultures out there too. Plotting on a nigga. Like niggas wake up early in the morning just to hate on you. These are some things I gotta deal with, you feel me? I got people just randomly just walking around, just, you know, occasionally looking at me, then turn their head, and I'm like, these niggas are some weirdos, bro. Feel me? Me waking up that early in the morning. I'm pretty sure you could wake up early in the morning to find something productive more than just trying to catch me slipping so you could do something to me. Shit crazy, my nigga, but I blame it on them on the niggas that kept on spreading those rumors. Feel me? I be like my journey different. You feel me? Cause I've been through a lot, but at the same time, I've been through a lot, but at the same time, I'm still trying to move forward type shit. You feel me? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just in the crib, just crying to myself and like they're not treating me right and feeling sorry for myself. That's not the case. I actually took a higher challenge when I moved across a coast with no family at all. I decided to do that. I'm like, you know what? I am going to. That's what I told myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna move across another coast. I'm going to free up these people who are constantly waking up, wasting their life on me. I'm gonna free them up. I decided to do that. You feel me? And I did free them up, but even up to this day, they're still trying to attach themselves to me because word on the streets is these niggas just, you know what I mean, they can't live without you type shit. Like they have no purpose, like nobody, it's like there's nothing to it anymore. So they still occasionally trying to attach themselves to me by, going through other people that have access to me and shit like that, just to tell a story, because they irrelevant. So it's like, it is what it is. Yeah, they irrelevant right now. So they still trying to attach themselves to me in so many ways. Like, I'm like, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, so many ways they try to attach themselves to me. So many ways. But I'm like, bro, like I told them niggas before I was leaving, somebody already took your spot. Forget about it, man. Like, y'all niggas is, y'all replaceable. Y'all not even replaceable, y'all replaceable. Just like the job I'm working right now, I'm replaceable. I don't take that for granted. I don't act like I'm Mr. Big Shot, although I am, but I know for a fact I'm replaceable. You feel me? So I don't get too ahead of myself or get too cocky and shit like that. I do get cocky at times because I know too much. Feel me? I'm very variable, but at the same time, I know I'm replaceable. You feel me? Well, same thing with them. They replaceable. They just haven't let go of that fact that they are replaceable. They just can't let it go. Like, my nigga, gotta let it go, man. I done freed y'all niggas, B. I made that move to free people. So, like, you feel me? You don't have to do what you was doing when I was around, because, people was doing stuff in spite of me. You feel me? They just did that shit so they can be spiteful. So I'm like, you know what? I know that's not what you really want to do. Some of those situations, people were forced to do it. Females and kids were involved. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just free myself. So I try to pick a location as far as possible. You know what I mean? Free myself and free them so they could get back to their life. You feel me? Because a lot of these niggas have potential, but they were just wasting it on cloud chasing. If you know someone who has a lot of potential, but they just waiting on the internet on cloud chasing, and you have the power to shut the internet down for a very long time, you might do that too, so that person can refund himself. If you really care about the person, you feel me? So that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Let me shut this shit down. So I shut my internet down. And guess what they did? They were just bitter. That nigga tight too. And guess what they did? They was bitter. So they started telling the information. They started telling people how to attack me and everything else like that, giving it out. Because they was emotional about the whole shit. It was just starting, you know what I mean? So once I came here, niggas was doing the same thing, attacking me the same way, doing the same noise. These niggas ain't even try to switch it up. They was doing the same shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, it's still the same stalking going on. So I'm like, alright, fuck it, man. I free another person just to, you free other people just for other people to get in prison. And that's just the life of it, you feel me? So a whole nother cycle of people that need freeing again. But this time it's gonna be different because this is my second time around. And I can tell that this is their first time around. So you can tell, like, there's so many things I'm learning. That's why I be sharing this shit. It's not like I'm complaining. I'm just sharing the experience. Because you can tell when somebody has, if you a coach, right, of any sport, let's say NFL today, Sunday, and you've been doing it for a while, right, and you've been winning Super Bowl, you like a Bill Belichick, like you got Super Bowl under your belt. If you win your sixth Super Bowl, that experience of the sixth one is different from the first one that you won. It's you can compare your experience. You saw that kind of feeling when LeBron James won his championship. You feel me? Anthony Davis, that was his first one. Few of the guys on the team, that was their first one. Dwight Howard, that was his first one. So they was more happy, very joyful. You feel me? LeBron just was like, yeah, like he was happy, but he's like, yeah, that's another addition. You feel me? He was just like, yeah, that's another addition to the collection. What's happening, nigga? Anyway, that was another addition to the collection of the things that he already had. So it was like, it wasn't that exciting to him. It was like, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. That's another one under the belt. You feel me? And then Davidson was like, yeah, this is my first one. It felt good. Da da da. It feels like an accomplishment the first time you do something. But once you start doing it over and over again, it's like you're looking for different motivation every time. You feel me? You be looking for different motivation every time, a different drive to get you there. Like, I mean, you be challenging yourself doing other stuff. But when you say first time doing something, that is your biggest motivation. Is to, you feel me? So that's the same thing with these people. I bring it back to what I was saying. The same thing with these people. This is the first time. So most of the time, they just overdoing some of the things, and they're so excited. It's like they got a new slave type shit like that. The way they be operating out here, like they be so excited. Not just whites, it's Hispanics and blacks too, and whoever's involved. There's a lot of whites and Hispanics here, but the place where I'm living at is a nice mixture of all three: whites, Hispanics, black. Indian is like, I barely see them, but a very small population here compared to what I was used to in New York City. And what else? Chinese too is a very small population too. I can't even lie. Yeah, Chinese too is a very, very small population here. But yeah, it's just like, it's just, yo, it's good, man. Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. I don't even have the cash on me. Yeah, Chinese too is like, yeah, it's a very little. The population is not as huge as New York City. New York was very diverse. Like there was so many different cultures within one place. I'll say that's one good thing about diversity. Sometimes you feel me. It's like you're not. I think the lack of diversity will have you caught up in your ignorance. You feel me? Your ignorance get enhanced more than what needs to be known. Cause, hold on. So I'm using my experience. I'm using my experience as my experiment. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? I'm experimenting my experience. You feel me? Through trials and tribulation. That's how I'm seeing it. Like, you feel me? So the more people that you grow up with are of different race, the more that you know of them, and the more that you can add to your own culture and tradition and stuff like that. If you take a look around, look at all the tradition that's around, right? My bus is supposed to be coming in 3 minutes. Supposed to be. If you let's take a look at all the tradition that you have around, right? And the culture and the food. Let's just take a look at the food itself, or the clothing. Sometimes the pattern and the design. Most of it are very, very similar. But let's just take a look at the food. The food is even more similar. You go to a Mexican spot. I'm looking at a Mexican restaurant right now in front of me. They have about the same thing. If I was to walk across the street and go to, let's say, Italian spot, you feel me? Some of the ingredients in the food are very similar to each other. It just comes down to the dish itself. You feel me? If you take a look at rice, beans, and everything else like that, you will find that in other ones too. So when you go to New York City, you might find things that you wouldn't find anywhere else because the diversity is so much. And when I came in, I was mentioning food that I wanted that I had in New York. They was like, "Well, what is sweet plantain?" I'm like those sweet plantain. You know, if you're from New York, you know what that is. I mean, if you're from anywhere, I was kind of shocked California didn't have. I was still shocked by it. And I'm like, sweet plantain, you know, the shit that the plantain where you fry, but it's not like the hard plantain. It's a sweet one. It's like the soft one. The shit that tastes real good. I cook it myself. I could do that shit. It's like you cut the plantain, you wash it, of course. Then you cut it, plantain, you cut it. Then you basically put it in and you fry it. Like, you feel me? It's not the hard one. Not the hard one that I don't know where that idea came from. Not that one. You feel me? But yeah, I'm talking about sweet. But they didn't have that. And then I'm like, damn, what else don't they have over here? Because it's not that much of a diversity culture. It's like two major players, and it's not like they're exchanging. Feel me? In New York City, there's so many stores, and each store is like right next to each other. You see different groups of people, so people are exchanging information constantly. So that's the pros and cons of it all. You feel me? And sometimes there's always, just like you adapt those information, there's also bad things that come up with it. You feel me? So there's pros and cons to this place and that place. At least when you live in this place, you get to keep what you have. You get to keep your own. It's not too much compromising, or you don't have to worry about your kids. You know what I mean? Being integrated if you're not into those kind of stuff. So I guess there's a pros and cons to it all. But I just had to compare and contrast the difference where you're on my side of the field and you dealing with people who just receive a new information comparable to something that I've been going through for a long time, and it gets tiring. You be like, oh my God, here I go again with the lack of experience on their part. Now they gotta get used to it. They gotta go through it to see that it's wrong. Sometimes you talk to people, they don't get it. So it's like me talking to them. It's almost like I'm begging. So it's like you just gotta let them do it and see that this is senseless. You feel me? So I gotta go through the same experience again. So I'm like, alright, fuck it, man. I just go through it, man. It's nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just go through this shit, man. People trying to be sneaky and all that shit has been done. Like, there's nothing that they're doing that's not. You going to sleep and you getting attacked and you don't even know what's going on when you wake up type shit. Cause it's like I'm dead to the world when I go to sleep. I be in my own dreams. Quiet. Man, this nigga, man. Anyway, I be in my own dream, you feel me? It's not like I'm not here, nigga. I'm in a whole nother world. So if you attacking me like that, the way if you that's what you're doing, cause I wouldn't even know, but that's what they say. Feel me? So if that's what you're doing, feel me? Like that's crazy. Like these are the kind of things that I gotta deal with. Damn, my bus. Man, this shit is retarded, bro. Shit ain't even show up yet. Supposed to be here already. This is the shit that I be talking about, man. No matter how good you plan, there's always somebody out there. Like, there's no need for you to hate on me right now. Like, I tell them this all the time. There's going to be 1,000 people who can take your spot in your place that's going to do that you don't. The same thing that you're doing right now, somebody's going to do it too. You can spare what you're about to do right now. It doesn't make sense for you to even do it, honestly. Because guess what? Somebody else is going, if you don't do it, if you missed out on it, somebody's going to do it. So it's like, what are you really doing it for? Are you doing it because it's like, it's fun to do, or are you doing it because like you can't hate me because I didn't grow up in this part of town. So there's no way you can hate me. I understood the hate that some of the people in New York had for me. Not everybody, of course, because they all didn't know me. Of course, I didn't agree with it, but that's where I grew up at. So it's like I understood it. And there's always, I've been doing a survey on my own experience. I could write a book off this, my real life story alone, or what I've learned from most of the things that I've went through. Feel me? That's what I like to. I'm not really complaining about. I'm not talking about the dreadfulness of it. I'm talking about the experience gained from the experiment of it all. You feel me? Like the knowledge that is gained that I can give to somebody else who may be going through something similar or the very same thing, and how I can help that person out. I am not complaining about my situation. It would be dumb because I'm still going through it. So what am I complaining about? I'm just giving people updates and how they need to look at it from a different point of view. And if you're feeling sorry for me or anything else like that, there's no need for you to do so, because I've been going through this for years, decades. Feel me? Like the same people keep stalking me. It's like I'm like, damn nigga, how many plans you gonna make for one nigga? You feel me? But and some people just come in and think that, oh, I'm gonna get him, and it's like they thinking this is the start of they. You feel me? It's like I was listening to the Bishop. No, was it? It was either it was T.D. Jakes or Robert Torre speak, and they was talking about Genesis, and they said Genesis, that was the begin. It's not that Genesis was the beginning of all things. It was who was this person speaking to? When Paul was writing from the church, and was it Paul? It was one of those disciples. One of them. They wrote. Well, Paul was not a disciple, but anyway, I'm not gonna go into details. One of the good people in the Bible. They wrote about the beginning, the genesis of people, not the genesis. The person was explaining that the beginning of something. There's a difference between a beginning and a start of something. You feel me? Just cause your awakeness, you feel me, is a beginning. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Let me put it just in the simplest form, right? When you find out, I'm about to go after this. When you find out about something, it doesn't mean that that's when it started. It started a long time ago. You just happen to find out at the time that you found out, but it was the it. I'm explain that later. I gotta go. The bus is coming.